In the heart of Amsterdam, Paul Hartering is exploring a new world of possibilities for Dutch cuisine through creativity and rigorous technique.
I wouldn't call that typical Dutch grandmother cooking.
No, but it starts with a Dutch product.
The daily menu at Gebroeders Hartering is driven by Paul's desire to see Dutch ingredients and techniques brought into the 21st century. Paul is a true artisan, working tirelessly to master his craft and perfect a menu that is anything but typically Dutch.
Now for the brains.
His stuffed pig's head needs a 4-hour boil before I can sample it.
Then does it have to chill?
Yeah, that's a set for now.
So, more waiting, and now Paul wants a snack.
This is the kroket place, Van Dobben.
Since 1945, Eetsalon Van Dobben has been turning out cheap and fast Dutch nibbles and small sandwiches.
There seems to be a Dutch obsession with all of these little quick snacky things.
Deep fried snacks is definitely a Dutch thing.
A Dutch thing.
Yeah.
Of course, there's also the typically aggressive Dutch waitress.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
We order broodies, little sandwiches on soft buns. There are dozens to choose from. Half liverwurst, half pickled meat, a local version of corned beef.
It's a nice sandwich. The buns make it. I mean, I'd come here every day just for that.
And that's not even the house specialty. The Van Dobben Empire was built on croquettes.
If a bar has food, this is the first thing that's on the menu.
Deep fried and breaded, these little logs are stuffed with all kinds of filling. In this case, a mystery meat ragu.
It's kind of like comfort food cement spackle. It's delicious, but it's, either a grandmother made it or a plumber is using it to fix something. I mean, one or the other.
They start with a roux to thicken a beefy broth into meat-flecked sturdy gravy, then fortified with gelatin so it can be rolled into shape. They're so popular, in 1992, Van Dobben began commercial production. Each year, the factory produces 200 million units of croquettes and bitterballen.
It's basically the same thing, only in ball form.
These taste like they're filled with my grandmother's gravy from the Sunday roast. This is the food of convenience. It's the food of childhood.
For childhood, that's probably even better, that's what I was raised on these little ones.
This may be the food Paul grew up on, but his menu at Gebroeders Hartering is redefining what Dutch cuisine can be, like a stuffed pig's head that's taken all day to cook and chill.
Look at how gorgeous that is. I thought the smell of it going into the broth was great. The smell after it's chilled for a little while is even better. As it starts to warm up, you can smell the force meat inside.
When served on the menu, the pig head terrine is sliced thin and plated. Today, well, I've been waiting too long.
Look at this thing. You like a little bit of the fat and skin in there, right?
This is the best.
That's the best. Look at that fat, and then there's this gorgeous little crescent moon of pale, pale flesh. There, it's face bacon.
And it's encasing a perfect melange of tongue, brains, and pistachio-laced pork force meat.
The fact that it was in a bag and it had that moisture exchange with the stock, it's perfect. The texture is perfect. That's just a beautiful job.
Indeed, Paul's a perfectionist. He's also an explorer, seeking inspiration from other cultures around the world. It's in the Dutch DNA.
As a chef, where did you get your curiosity for this kind of stuff?
Definitely travel.
Yeah.
My wife is Mexican-American, so that's where a lot of flavors come in, for me at least.
Trips to Southeast Asia sparked curiosity around how techniques like fermentation might pair with Dutch ingredients like the local squid.
I figured, why not try everything?
Yeah.
Large squid are abundant in the North Sea. Though their mantle can grow up to 16 inches, their anatomy is simple at best.
There's a trick to getting the esophagus.
Yeah.
So you take the beak
Yeah.
and you squeeze it with your hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The squid is nice and fresh. This works.
Same trick works for removing the gladius.
It's basically the shell turned inside out.
It's called the pen because, do you see how that would work? That's a fresh squid.
The stomach and gills are discarded, but Paul has plans for the remaining organs.
There are the eyes. There's the liver, that brownish gray thing. And that little silver thing with what looks like a cloudy black interior is the ink sac.
The eyes, liver, and ink sac are combined in a pan to make a quick but beautiful sauce for the grilled squid.
Those squid parts, I mean, I think in so many different areas of the world, they use that to make the first fish sauces and garums.
We actually make our own fermented fish sauce.
Salt and brown sugar start the fermentation process.
So this is just the organs, the heads.
That is fantastic.
And after at least a year,
That's
The end product.
the end product. Are you kidding me? That is so butter. It almost reminds me of fish sauce with miso. I'm racking my brain to imagine a better version of that I've ever tasted. That might be the best one. I'm not kidding.
Paul uses it to kickstart the fermentation process in his Dutch kimchi, a take on Korean fermented cabbage.
We started with kimchi, and then we started leaving out Korean ingredients and replaced them by Dutch ingredients.
You're really an evil scientist.
With the skills of a surgeon.
We're gonna slice the body so when you grill it, they go up like scales.
Sure.
Yeah.
A technique he picked up watching sushi chefs prepare their fish for service.
Which is a beautiful presentation.
And
Cooks
from the-
evenly.
Fresh Dutch ingredients, Japanese squid butchery, Korean-style fermentation, ancient fish sauce recipes, even a Mexican-inspired cilantro sauce.
I'm already in love with the dish and I haven't even eaten it yet. Wow. It is a symphony of fermentation and sweet and salty, and the squid's cooked perfectly. That's just brilliant. It's brilliant. How much playing around before you sort of wound up with this, and do you serve it all the time here?
This is definitely one of our dishes that we like to keep doing. It keeps evolving.
With a global perspective and a relentless dedication to craft, Paul Hartering is proving Dutch cuisine is much more than the bland comfort food it's mistakenly been characterized by.
That's as perfect and as beautiful a plate of food as you'll eat anywhere in the world. That is just ridiculous.
Thank you.
Ridiculous.